when desperation mode happens, when and whatever that is, right? That's when they start building relationships. That's when they reestablish and talk with more people. When it seems like if you were doing that as an ongoing cycle, when that desperation time comes up, you would be able to, it's easier for you to then go in and be like, hey, I need a favor at this point, than trying to, hey, my name is Zach Miller. Let's talk for a little bit. Oh, and by the way, I just met you, and now I want you to give me this big thing. And so, like, is that something that was taught to you? Is that something that you just learned by listening from some of those phone calls, or how did you understand that that was something that you needed to get into to start building those relationships up?
Nobody told me that. I think it's just inherent. It should be anyway, knowing that you can't just. Well, let me put it like this: if you've gotten a sales call from somebody who they barely introduce themselves and then they just jump right into, hey, buy this thing, that's not how I would want to do things. I don't appreciate that. I don't enjoy that. I would not give my business to somebody doing that type of thing. So I just knew if I don't like that, then the people that work with me probably aren't going to like it either. I need to build relationships to make that happen.
But as a LinkedIn superstar, which you have definitely become, how many messages do you get that start like that?
I would say,
let's say in a percentage, actually.
Yeah, percentage, 50%.
No way. It is not that low.
Well, I do a pretty good job of making sure who I connect with are, they're relevant. So some slip through.
Okay. So you don't accept everyone that LinkedIn requests you, is what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. So I do, because I like to respond back with just simply, yo. Which, if you know me, like, that's how I talk anyway, right? Like, I just want to talk to people. So, like, when someone spams me as a first message, like, hey, I just met you. Now buy my thing. It's $50,000. I'm like, yo. You know what's funny? The majority of the time, they never respond back.
Right, because they don't know how to follow up.
If you wanted to buy their thing, they probably wouldn't respond back.
But who is teaching these people these methods?
I don't know.
I would assume someone that's out of touch, that is some old school person that says these are the number of touch points that you have to hit every single day.
But no, absolutely. But you can touch point and make those from a quantity standpoint that are quality, that get far better results than these things that are just spam after spam after spam. I mean,
well, it turns into they probably have a quota, and the sales manager has said you have to make 100 touch points, 100 calls, and that's all they're worried about, is making the numbers.
Yep. So yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's about the metrics, and it's like the garbage metrics going in, it's garbage metrics going out.
So isn't it bad leadership in that case then? Because that leader doesn't understand the relationship building side of it?
Mm-hmm. Because they're so, it's a numbers game, and that's all that they think about. And so because there'll be something that falls out. So they'll say, oh yeah, it takes 200 times, 200 phone calls, and you'll get 2 responses and you'll get 1 meeting. Well, yes, maybe.
But adding a little bit of due diligence on that, adding a little bit of friendly flair on that could increase those numbers to get there as well. I think we all believe that, like, you have to touch things many times. Let me rephrase that. I think we all believe that you have to make multiple interactions with someone that to get them to come from a visitor first learning about you to a customer. But that doesn't mean you have to be such a BS being thrown out there. That's
the rookie thing is before you do anything. But in the sense that you're supposed to prospect before you even make that initial contact, to at least determine if there's some sort of a need. I mean, how many emails I get every day asking about, hey, do you want a website? It's like, dude, we do that stuff. Why prospect?
And we got an email yesterday, my partner and I, from somebody who said, oh, I saw your multifamily listing and something. And we're like, we don't even deal with multifamily at all. Like, a really, really quick search would have told you that.
Do you? Okay, so I actually usually call people out on these things too, right? So if someone is trying to make the multiple touch points, not only do I just respond back with yo, is oftentimes if someone clearly is copying and pasting something. This happened to me recently, where my name was mistaken for someone else's. right? So like, let's say that someone was emailing Nicole and they put Zach, and or vice versa, and I'd be like, "Who's Nicole?" And they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And I'm just like,
well, it's the same thing that happened with Steph Curry.
"What he? Oh yeah, have you heard this story, Nicole?"
No, I haven't.
Tim?
Well, I want to make sure I got it right because he was signed with Nike, correct?
Somehow between Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, something like that.
Yeah,
they changed when they went in for the.
They wanted to give him a pitch to give him a
different
deal.
company that he was working with was getting a Steph Curry pitch.
Yeah, and the PowerPoint, they forgot to change the name, and so it was whatever athlete.
Kevin Durant. And then I think they even called him Steven.
Yeah.
So this man is probably going to potentially bring you $500 million in dollars. $500 million in dollars. Yes, Zach, that's what dollars and dollars are. $500 million in revenue. And you.
Yeah, so he signed with Under Armour.
Or whoever. Yeah. Is that who he's with?
Yeah.
So who put that out there? How did
he did at some point get pissed off? I think he.
Yeah. It's a good point, because then it makes you say, well, if they would do something like that and not pay attention in a big thing like that, then what are they doing with the small details? You know,
right?
Wasn't that why Michael Jordan ended up signing with Nike, because his agent liked what Nike was doing with tennis players, making them more of a brand?
Correct.
Or something like that.
Because Michael Jordan wanted to go to Converse, but his mother,
Adidas.
Well, I just watched the episode last night of
Converse. Are you sure? I thought
that was he wanted. That's what, like, Dr. J and all those guys were all with Converse, but
his parents told him, or somehow,
his mom told him to go to Nike. At least have the meeting.
Right. So we're